Living in a democracy means that you have a say in how things are run. But can young people really make a difference? This is Hodan's story. The war in Somalia separated many families. Hodan Adawi was a small child when her parents walked with her from Somalia to Ethiopia. Hodan was put on a plane with one of her brothers and a sister and sent to London. Her parents hoped they would find safety, education, and a chance of a better life.
I came to England when I was 7 years old, and the time before that I lived in Somalia. It was lovely, it was nice before the war began. I used to just think, why can't there just be one ruler, one person to follow the entire world, and everything could just be the same, and everyone can have the same advantage, and everyone can have the same rights and stuff like that. Because back in Somalia, you haven't got no rights, you haven't got nothing basically.
After Hodan had been in London for some time without a proper home or schooling, relatives suggested she might move to Bristol, where there is a small Somalian community. At City Academy, Hodan met Paulette North.
She arrived in the school and said she needed a place here. And it was a very difficult time for the school because we were oversubscribed. And she told me about other students that were in her hostel that had not been to school for months.
Paulette helped organise a class for the local refugee children.
They come here to get at life. Do you understand? Most people haven't got a life from where they came from, because of war, maybe because of they can't speak out, they have no rights. There's a lot of reasons. People don't just pack their bags, leave their families behind, leave their lives behind, just to come to a foreign country. So you have to start everything over again, and people don't really choose that. They do that because they have no choice.
As her mother and father couldn't come to England, Hodan was forced to act as a parent to her younger brother. Paulette remembers how difficult this sometimes was for Hodan.
There were times when Hodan would come to us and we could tell that she was very down, and we would give her a cuddle and say, "What's up?" And I never forget the day where she said, "I'm just tired. I'm really tired of being a mother. I want to be a child. I've not had a childhood. I want to be a child." And I said, "Well, how can we do this then? What is it that would help?" And she said, "If my mother and father came over." And I said, "Well, why don't you start a campaign? Why don't we campaign for this?"
And I looked at her and I was like, me, this age? I don't think I can make that big of a difference, but I can try. On the lunch break of that day, I went to the library and I picked up the Yellow Pages, so I just looked up the nearest law firm next to my house that dealt with immigration and stuff like that. So we went to the lawyer and he encouraged me because I was young and we thought it was just going to be a simple road. The government said that basically me and my brother didn't have the right to bring our parents to the country because we were dependent on my sister. And I just looked at them and I was like, "Are you being for real? Do you think I chose to come here without my parents? I did not choose nothing. I was a kid, do you understand?"
After the government turned down an appeal for her parents to come to England, she was very upset. Hodan remembers how different things were in Somalia. She would never have been able to challenge the authorities there, as there was no democracy.
Women can't really express themselves. They're looked down at. They can't go out and say, "We need more, we need more schools, we need more this and that." They might get shocked because they're not following either the religion or the rules that men set out. I think everyone should be equal, men and women. I'm sure if a group of young people was taken from here and put in a country, any country around the world, where there was no power, there was no law, there was nothing, and they were not in control, they did not feel safe, I'm sure each one of them would run to the nearest airport and get on an airplane to get back here. And when they got back here, they would kiss the floor. They'd be like, "Oh my God, I am voting every year. I am doing what I want. I'm going to make a change." Do you understand? A lot of young people might think because they're young and because they haven't got no experience that they cannot make a difference, but that is not true.
Hodan continued to fight her campaign with press interviews, MP debates, asylum group talks and TV interviews. Her case went to court 3 times before she finally won.
And when I succeeded in it, it felt like I won 1 million, do you understand? It felt like I'd proven the government wrong. I proved all the people that thought I couldn't make no difference. I was just like some young person talking.
Everybody that heard her story just felt that she was such an amazing person to have actually managed to come over here to set up a home, to look after her brother, and then to begin her political campaign to bring her parents over, as well as learning the English language and keeping on with her studies and making friends as well.
I think we're all equal wherever we are, under what power we're in. Everyone's got 2 eyes. People might have different colours, but it's okay, different hair textures and everything else. By the end of the day, we're human beings. We're all the same, we're all equal. We should be treated equal. We should not be treated differently because of our skin tone or because of our backgrounds. That is just not right. I do not agree with that. Because you got the advantage of being born in England and have a British passport, doesn't mean you're better than me because I'm from Somalia and I haven't got no passport. Do you understand? I will get the passport one day, but still, do you understand? We're all equal.
But there are many ways to engage with politics.
Your time in office is over. The island's
The creative arts, in this case theatre, can be a good way to explore the impact of politics on people's lives.
necessary.
Boys, you'll crumple the threads.
The island has outgrown you.
This play explores aspects of modern society and citizenship.
Hunky-dory, Sam. And you?
Equally and so.
Lucy is a play about the because you deserve it, because you're worth it society. So everyone wants the instant joy and instant gratification without having to put in the work first.
Sorry, you're coming. Sorry.
I like to make comments on society and the way that society reacts to certain things.
I can barely walk.
I think theatre is an incredibly useful medium because it means that you can create a very, very concise message.
If my people want more food, then more food will be provided. Think of them in quarantine.
I think the wonderful thing about working with the National Youth Theatre is the amount of energy that they have. And if you can use that amount of energy to start creating a message, arguing, debating, coming up with something that's very fiery, that's got a lot of potency, then that's a wonderful age group to start using for that.
I believe that as youth, we look up to the older generations because we're supposed to learn from them. And if youth are constantly getting victimised and labelled as, oh, you're whatless, you're nothing to us.
You're a hoodied youth.
Yeah, you're a hoodied youth. We're always going to come down with that stereotype, which means certain youths will live up to that label, and they're going to think, oh, forget it, I'm not going to bother to vote then. But why would you do that? Why not then vote? Didn't women fight for women to vote? Isn't it important to just be able to care where you want to be in society in a way? Just to care what's happening, to care who's in, care whether it's going to be the Conservatives or the Labours who's going to be making the decisions of how you're going to live your life?
I think it's important not to try and reach people in an overtly political way, not try and reach young people in an overtly political way, otherwise you feel like you're trying to be sold something.
Yeah.
But if it's done in a way so as you engage them first and then remind them that all you're talking about is modern society and politics, then maybe we'll change the opinion that politics is boring and it just doesn't affect us.
Sorry, you're coming. Sorry.
I think one of the things that's very exciting about this generation is how much they talk. It's a generation that is very much engaged with conversation and trying to understand each other. We're the generation that sort of talk about how we feel rather than what we think. If you're trying to emotionally engage with one person, it helps your understanding of a mentality and therefore a society or community. Then you're in the sphere of politics. Politics is there in each individual representative of society.
Surfers Against Sewage began life in 1990, when a small group of Cornish surfers became convinced that something in the water was making them ill. They suspected that sewage on the beaches and in the sea was to blame, and decided to create a campaign to get the beaches and coastal waters cleaned up. SAS thought that a combination of media-grabbing headlines and research into sea pollution levels was needed. These activities developed public awareness and created scientific support for their campaign against the authorities, in this case, local councils and the water boards. Local surfer Emma Davidge is a volunteer member for SAS.
I first got involved with Surfers Against Sewage because we went in the sea with a group of friends just down here, and we ended up being violently ill from it. We got a bug from the sewage that was in the sea. None of us knew it was in the sea. None of us were warned. Apparently people knew about it and no one was told. We thought this was absolutely awful. Our parents phoned up SAS, and Surfers Against Sewage just helped out a hell of a lot with it. They gave us advice about what to do, and they actually said to us to contact the local newspaper just to get our voices heard and to let people know what had happened. We had a photo shoot done and we got a little article in the paper. Because of that, I wanted to join SAS to do something different and to make sure that things like that didn't happen again.
Everything that goes down your toilet and sink can end up in the sea. Surfers Against Sewage want to put pressure on the government, the local councils and the water boards to insist that raw sewage has the maximum cleaning treatment before it's pumped back into our oceans. They hope this will stop the sea being polluted and prevent harm to marine life.
I think the government and the council can work together to work out better sewage treatment policies. We need to eliminate sewage altogether, and without their help, this can't be done.
SAS have become very skilled at campaigning and want to change the way the government controls sewage and water treatment. They believe the way to do this is by engaging with political decision-making, with the legal system, and by working closely with the media.
With SAS, politics is important because if there's an event that happens down here and people do become ill because of sewage or anything, it's important that we get the media involved to be more publicised. And then if no one listens to us then we've got to take it further. We get more people involved with the campaign, and then we take it further. We go out to London and have a protest there, or if they don't listen, then we'll take legal action to get our voices heard.
Surfers Against Sewage have become a strong organisation because of a commitment to teamwork.
You've got to work together and be cooperative. I think young people do, have a lot of power because it's going to be our world that we grow up in. We're going to make a difference. We've got to stand up for what we want the future to be like in years to come. If anyone feels passionate about something and they really put their minds to it and work together as a team, then you can change the world and you can make a difference.